Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor, where you can catch me react on a weekly basis to any sports news in the National Football League, National Basketball Association, and Major League Baseball, and other sports like college football and college basketball and all too as well. So if you guys like to help and support my podcast and all too as well, please press on the subscribe button. Obviously, if you guys are listening and watching on the YouTube side, if you guys are listening on the podcast platform side like Apple, Spotify, and Overcast, please add us to your library and leave us a rating to help support the podcast. But where am I on January 30th of 2026? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm experiencing the Patriots another Super Bowl this season and all too as well. Yeah, I'm not low key, high key ecstatic and all too as well. I can only act a certain way because I'm recording and all too as well. But my gosh, do you see the score on the screen? That's how they got to the Super Bowl. And a 10-7, I guess snow blizzard and all too as well in the second half. Mostly, at least all too as well. I got to experience a blizzard, unfortunately, going back to the Boston, Massachusetts area over the weekend and all too as well. But got to see the Pats experience the same thing in the second half and all too as well. And imagine if this game was in Foxborough and all, with what they just went through this past weekend all too as well. But as you can see, the Patriots are going to their 12th Super Bowl overall? Robert Kraft's 11th Super Bowl since owning the team in 93, 94 and all too as well. Vrabel and his first Super Bowl as a coach and all too as well. Mil Williams in back-to-back Super Bowls as a participant in the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles last year too as well. And also unexpected turn of events for the Patriots and all too as well. There's a knock of them having the easiest schedule throughout the season and all too as well, but faced 3 of the top 5 defenses on their road through the AFC to the Super Bowl and all too as well, with the Chargers. I'm not sure where the Chargers were ranked specifically, but big, what's it called? Big things, how am I trying to say it? Big things have been said about the Texans and Broncos defense, I should say, at least enough for the Patriots going in to their games in the divisional round respectfully, in the AFC Championship round respectfully and all too as well. But there isn't a crazy thing to say about this game and all too as well. It's basically a mess offensively for the Patriots and all too as well. You can argue Drake May's first throw of the game could have been intercepted by Hufanga and all too as well. But Jarrett Stidham and Marvin Mims were able to beat Christian Gonzalez deep once. We'll mention the other moment where they try to get at him and all too as well. But they beat him once in the first drive. The first drive for the Broncos and all too as well basically set up in red zone area and all too as well. And Stidham was able to find. Can they show it up on the timeline here on Google real quick? They're not showing it. But still was able to find a receiver. I'm not sure who. I really want to get it right. Let me just look it up. It's no big deal. Where are the stats at? Touchdown to Sutton. Oh, it's the Sutton too as well. All right, big catch by Sutton to get them their first score of the game, at least in all two as well. Then there wasn't much movement of the offense on both sides after that too as well. You can credit the Broncos offense for moving the football a tad more in the first half. You can argue maybe Sean Payton made a mistake. Let me fix that screen for y'all real quick. There we go. But you can blame Sean Payton at the I think in the second half, beginning of the second half, went for it on fourth down on the opponent's deep on the opponent's side of the field, New England side of the field. And you can argue the way both teams were moving the ball that they should have went for a field goal there, but. Went for it on fourth. The Pats got a big stop there, unable to move the football after that and all too as well, but able to get a stop there to still keep the game at 7-0. There was an opportunity for the Pats, opportunity for the Broncos, I should say, to really do get a lead there and all too as well, but I would say it was a big play. There weren't many big plays from the Pats offense in the first half and all, but they were deep in their own side of the field, and they really get a big first down and all to really help with field position and all too as well, because it kind of led to their next score and all too as well, where Jarrett Stidham had himself, was trying to make a play, I should say, at least and all, and was unable to complete a shovel pass, and it was his hand was his hand was hit, I should say, by Christian Ellis and all, kind of forced a backwards pass, where in football terms would be a fumble and all too as well. Unfortunately, the refs called it dead, so the Patriots were able to pick up the fumble easily because there were like four pass players around there and all too as well. So from there, being deep on their own opponent's side of the field, the Pats were able to get into the end zone and all too as well. I think May had a quick throw. Yeah, I think a quick throw to somebody, I think to Hunter Henry or something like that, and then he was able to get in on a quick QB draw and all too as well. So that essentially tied the score at 7-7. Kind of wild. Last 2 minutes or so of the first half, at least and all too as well. Both teams missed the field goal. Yeah, both teams missed the field goal there. I was thinking the Broncos missed 2 field goals there, but I think it was just one. It was just one, yeah. And then Borregales missed like a 60-yard field goal, just shanked it, didn't even give himself a chance of making it. And also, it was 7-7 going into halftime and all too as well. The Pats had the ball first in the second half, so they had a great drive, almost like a 10-minute drive in the first what's it called there? The first drive of the let me check real quick. Check the technical stuff first. My bad. But yeah, they had a great drive in the first drive of the second half. Nearly lasted almost 10 minutes. I think it was like 9 minutes and 31 seconds to be exact and all too as well. Big runs by Ramon Stevenson, a big run by Drake May and all too as well. Unable, after looking at the tape again before going live at least and all, saw that he missed Ramon Stevenson at the corner of the end zone and all too as well. If he just kept his eyes open a bit and all too as well, you can credit the Bronco pass rush to a degree in that instance and all too as well, honestly. But kind of had the time, was going to have to take a hit to actually get the throw off at least on, but did have the time, and I did see Ramon Stevenson on the right side of the end zone, right corner of the end zone at least, where he could have found, if he anticipated enough, definitely could have found them there and all too as well. So kind of missed them there. But they got a field goal on that long drive at least and all, and that's when the snow started coming in, not even going to lie and all, and the Bronco offense kind of stalled. Pat's offense stalled too as well. Drake May had a cool throw from a flea flicker from Ramon Stevenson and all, and was able to find Mac Hollins deep and all too as well, just to help with field position and all too as well. Those are the big plays for the Pats offense that I would say, because the defense was playing great and all too as well. So the whole field position, especially with that fumble in the first half, I feel like was huge for at least Drake May, unable to move the ball and all too as well, unable to find a consistent running game, even though Ramon Stevenson, at least, overall rushing yards wise, had himself a good game. Average wise, I think barely at 3 yards a carry and all too as well. But just some big throws there. Both to Mac Hollins, ironically, but the first half one, at least on the change field position, then led to the fumble, like I mentioned, and all too as well. And then a big play there, at least, and all too, kind of still forced the field position to be, to have the Broncos more on the opponent's side and more on their side of the field, more on the opponent's side of the field, at least, and all too as well. And it kind of led to the ending, interception by Christian Gonzalez and all too as well, because again, they were on their side of the field and all. And there was a chance before that interception for him to go deep and try to get on the opponent's side of the field and all. But I guess a couple plays later, they were trying to go back to that. Christian Gonzalez was more than ready for that and was able to make an interception and all too as well. So that's why I'm making a big deal about the field position stuff and all too as well, because it kind of forced Denver, at least in that, it forced Denver in both instances for Jared Stidham, at least and all, to make a play they didn't want to make, at least and all too as well, just trying to make something out of nothing and all too as well. We'll give the Broncos offense credit there, because when there was a situation where the Pats couldn't move the ball and all too as well in the second half, it was the same possession where Ramon Stevenson and Drake May slipped on the same play and all too as well. So it kind of forced New England not to move the football anymore, because the snow was going crazy, at least and all too as well. So Behringer, the punter there, had to punt it deep in his own end zone to the other side of the field, at least. And so that gave the Broncos one of those possessions great field position and all. But Will Lutz didn't miss the kick. A field goal block by Leonard Taylor III, ironically, just signed from the practice squad, if not like this week, the week prior, and all too as well. Was able to have a big block to prevent from the Broncos from tying the game 10-10. And all too as well. So I will give, that's why field position to me is just a big thing, and all too as well, with the one time that the Pats were deep in their end zone and punted the ball deep in their end zone to the other side of the Broncos and all. That's where the Broncos finally had a scoring opportunity and all. Just took a huge play from Leonard Taylor to block the field goal, at least in all two as well. So just huge play, just huge plays by the offense, at least in those two instances with Matt Collins, ironically, to at least change the field position in all two as well, to kind of limit the possessions that the Broncos would have on the other side of the field, more because of the weather, but again to the New England defense and all two as well. Again, Christian Gonzalez killed with that big play to Marvin Mims to get that touchdown for them, but basically shut down there. Big drops, you can argue, by the Broncos and all two as well, even though Jarrett Stidham, you can argue, missed a throw here and there and all two as well to his guys and all two as well, but still catchable balls. Cortland Sutton, even though he had that's why I was surprised he got that end zone, that touchdown, I should say, in the end zone and all two as well. He had a whole bunch of big drops, I felt like, throughout the game and all two as well. Didn't really help his backup quarterback in that situation and all two as well. So didn't really step up, in my opinion, and all two as well. Patrick Surtain the second. So why the Patriots offense couldn't move? He was the reason why. It looks like he. And that's what when I was hearing how they could use Patrick Surtain. It's kind of what I was anticipating. More of on booty for big play chances, at least, and all big play downs, at least, and all, and then on the important downs, or third, there weren't many third and shorts, so it was long third and longs and all too as well. So probably didn't have to worry about Diggs in those situations and all, but in close possession situations and all, where you need those 5 yards to get that first down and all, where I would anticipate them guarding Diggs, at least, and all too as well, and kind of did in that first play where Ofungo almost got that interception and all too as well. Kind of saw the same thing, having PS2 there. I think PS2 was there, I'm guessing now. But Ofungo made a great play there, almost got an interception on Drake May's first throw there too as well, honestly. But I thought Patrick Surtain was awesome. Defending booty deep, at least, and all too as well. His tackling up by the line of scrimmage too as well. He just looked awesome throughout the whole game and all. I feel like that was the big reason why. But even though it's one guy, but they got a pretty damn good defense that's fast too as well, honestly. If you got one guy that can shut down the whole side of the field and all, kind of makes things untainable to make things happen, at least. Like I keep mentioning, Matt Collins was the reason why they had some big plays offensively down the field in this game, and all the two throws I keep mentioning, at least, and all two as well. But those were their big plays offensively, and all. Diggs didn't do much. Hunter Henry did have a big catch to force a first down where they got the field goal, I believe. No, not the field goal, the touchdown, but one of their scoring possessions and all two as well, but was relatively quiet. And I think Booty only had one catch, if I have zero. I don't think he had any catches in the game against the Broncos and all too as well. So shout out to Patrick Surtain. I thought he was a big reason why their defense held up against the Pats all game and all too as well. The pass rush is definitely there. I think May got sacked 5 times again and all too as well. But ironically, Nick Benito, the numbers that I saw on Twitter at least, had 0 sacks. He probably had a couple pressures and all too as well. There were plays he was definitely in the mix and all too as well, but wasn't as loud as you anticipated, the way Will Campbell has been looking in the last 2 games, at least. You can argue this was probably Will Campbell's best game of the playoffs, at least, and all too as well. It was against a premier pass rusher and Nick Benito and all too as well. But yeah, Pats are going to the Super Bowl against Super Bowl 60 and Santa Clara and all too as well. Come on, definitely befuddling to someone like me, and it's kind of cool. Like I keep mentioning, and I'll start a podcast in 24, C's win, in 25, the Red Sox make the playoffs. I wish it was more. Trust me, losing the Yankees does not make me happy, but I'll take it for the past 2-3 years. The Sox were making no type of playoff run, and all was it 22, 23, 24? Didn't make the playoffs and all too as well. And then in 25, started podcast in 24. I'm just trying to say in 24 the C's won the championship. 25, the Sox are finally in the playoffs and all too as well, even though I wanted more. But look at the Patriots all of a sudden too as well in the Super Bowl in the third year, going on to the third season. Once the NBA season goes into the playoffs and all too as well, we start the third season then. But still, year 3 at least and all too as well, I got the Pats in the Super Bowl and all too as well. It's kind of like, it's so dope. I'm not gonna lie, honestly. Kind of makes me happy as a Boston sports fan. It's like I'm living my childhood dreams all over again back in the 2000s and all, when we got the Pats winning, the Sox winning, Celtics winning, and the Bruins winning in the 2010s, at least, and all too as well. But just thrilling stuff, at least, and all too as well. Just big plays. Even the big play I've been mentioned too as well. Drake May's clinching the first down, at least, and all too as well. Now there's some issues apparently with his shoulder going into the Super Bowl and all too as well. I'll have more of like a Super Bowl preview on my next episode and all too as well. Today I'm just reacting to the Patriots getting to the Super Bowl and reacting to their opponent that they'll be facing in the Super Bowl too as well. I'll get to that game and all too as well. But yeah, trust me, wasn't watching too much of it in the first half and all. Definitely in the glory of the Patriots winning the Super Bowl and all. But back to Drake May, and I guess apparently he has a shoulder issue and all. Did have himself a big play at the end of the game to clinch it and all too as well. Apparently, I thought they called the bootleg draw for Drake May at least on, but apparently he went off script in that situation all too as well. Was able to fake it out to Ramondre Stevenson and split to his left, right? Yeah, to his left on the field at least and all too as well. Was able to stiff arm. No, ironically, Christian Ellis's brother. I'm not sure of his first name, but definitely Christian Ellis's brother and all too as well. To get himself a first down and basically clinch the Pats going to the Super Bowl and all too as well with like 1 and change left in the game. And Broncos having no timeouts and all too as well, so they're able to get into victory formation and all too as well. But again, Drake May wasn't able to make the throws as much as he was able to. My bad. In the first 2 previous games, at least, no, but definitely. But used his legs as much as he did in the Chargers game. Used them in this game and all too as well. And again, led to big plays and all too as well. His legs led to a touchdown. His legs led to possession where they were not. They were on the opponent's side of the field, but not so deep into the opponent's side of the field. His run led them into the red zone at least and all too as well, where they were able to get a big lead. Or not big leads. Yeah, that's a force. Able to get a lead in this football game, a 10-7 lead they were able to hold and all too as well. And his legs came into factor again with him clinching the game and all too as well. And again, had his big throws to Matt Collins and all to force field position and all too as well. Not your like, oh my gosh, like 300 yards from a quarterback like the other game, because both of them had 300 yards in that game and all too as well. But again, just making enough work and all from the other game I keep mentioning. No defense was played in this one. Defense was played at this one and all too as well. And you can look at Jarrett Stidham's mistakes, like what's it called there? His obviously the how do I want to say it? I'm trying to say it right, but he was trying to shovel past it and all too. So it ended up being a backwards pass. There we go. A backwards pass at least. And also that was a big fumble, big mistake there too as well, honestly. At the end of the first half and all too as well. Will Lutz barely missed the kick at the end of there. One of the 2 kicks I mentioned that both teams missed. Will Lutz barely missed it and all too as well. Jarrett Stidham the play before the field goal, lost a couple yards. From trying to scramble out and was unable to break the line of scrimmage at least and all too as well. So maybe could have thrown it away there since he was out of the pocket. Save yourself a couple yards. Maybe Will Lutz is making that kick. It's 10-7 going into half and all too as well. So two big mistakes from Jarrett Stidham, and obviously the interception at the end of the game at least and all too as well. I kind of don't put that on him. It's probably going to be your last possession of the game and all too as well. You're trying to make a play and all, and I'll be fair. The play was there before too as well. It's just a huge shout out to Christian Gonzalez to update himself and to put himself in a great position to get the interception there too as well. Honestly, so those are like the mistakes I would say the Broncos made too as well. There's obviously this talk about Sean Payton going for it on the 4th and 1 instead of kicking that field goal where they could have had an earlier 10-7 lead and all. But like I mentioned with Will Lutz there at the end of the first half, could have had a field goal there. They were in field position to get that field goal in the snow there too as well. It's just a great play by Leonard Taylor to block the field goal and all too as well. So I just saw 2 instances where they could have got that field goal back and all too as well. And you get the mindset there. If it gets that 4th and 1 and they score a touchdown there, the game is, the Pats only scored 10 points. The game is basically over there. And the way they were moving the ball and the way the Pats weren't moving the football on offense even before the snow came too as well. I understand the thinking there. I'm a fan, I should say, of teams playing aggressive and all too as well. So I can't really fault them from playing aggressive and all too there too as well, honestly. So I don't really blame them there and all too as well. Maybe had, like I was saying, being funny on my buddy's show on Twitter at least and all too as well. Maybe he gave Stidham too much confidence because you would if people were watching the game would see that Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham came in with a cowboy hat and all too, so his confidence was hell of a high and all too as well. So I'm curious there. Sean Payton kind of put too much into his balloon and all too as well with the shovel passes that he was trying to pull off and all too as well. After watching the film again before coming on, was seeing that he shovel passed it towards the end in the snow and all too as well. So it was just a simple forward pass and all too as well. So, yeah, that's my reaction to the AFC Championship game. Though we got the Pats making the Super Bowl again, and you would think again, yeah. Let me react to all of that too as well. You would think after the dynasty in 2019, I think the 2018 was the last Super Bowl. 2019 is when they lost to, ironically, Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans and all too as well. I'm thinking dynasty, like, now we're gonna have to wait a while to see some like playoff success and all too as well. And we go through a quarterback and Mac Jones and all, and then and even me as a staunch critic of Mac Jones, I would even admit his situation with let me get my bad stat stuff. But his situation with Bill Belichick, Joe Judge, and Matt Patricia run the offense and all soiled him. Not gonna lie, because he looked halfway decent in Jacksonville last year when Trevor Lawrence was hurt, and then obviously I think he won like 3 out of 4 games for the 49ers and all when Brock Purdy got hurt in the middle of the season this year. Probably like 4 out of 5 games and all. He played for a bit for them and all too as well. We can even argue against the Jacksonville Jaguars, ironically his former team, if he was playing, because it looked like Brock Purdy came back early and all. He could have won that game for them too as well and also. So what am I trying to say there? I forgot what I was trying to say there and all too as well. But yeah, Pat's just coming back out of nowhere, honestly, too as well, making the Super Bowl and all too as well. I'm trying to remember why I'm bringing up Trevor Lawrence and Brock Purdy and all too as well. It's kind of random. Oh yeah, for Mac Jones at least. So there we go. Yeah, Mac Jones. Yeah, again, Mac Jones actually looked pretty decent after his time with the Patriots and all too as well with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and Bill Belichick effing up the whole offensive system for him and all too as well. I guess I have a little note about Bill Belichick too as well, honestly. But after this react to the Patriots and all too as well. But yeah, after the 2020 losing to the Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans there and all, draft Mac Jones, able to make the playoffs and all, but if you know that wasn't a real team and all. They got blown out by the Bills in the first round of the playoffs and all too as well. Then I bring up the Matt Patricias and the Joe Judge and all. So that happened the year after that. Gerard Mayo had his little run, I guess, last season in 20. This is the season 24 now. And all too as well gets fired, and I didn't like it. You know what I mean? It's not the whole black coach thing and all too as well. It's just more what the Kraft's doing and all too as well. But Vrabel's supposed to save you. Vrabel damn saved you and all too as well. So completely wrong about this team and all too as well. This is what I will say about the schedule going into the season. Not into the season, but going into training camp. I kind of had high hopes for this team and all. Maybe they could be the Lions or the Commanders or be the new surprise team and all. But I just didn't like what I heard going into training camp with Will Campbell and Jared Wilson as your left ends of the O-line at least and all. You get rid of Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar and all too as well. There's someone else I'm sleeping on too as well, of guys that were on your team that were pretty good on your team you got rid of and all too as well. So I was really questioning the direction of this football team and all too as well. So even Milton Williams and all, it's a cool signing, but how cool is the signing and all too as well. You're seeing how cool is the signing and all too as well. So it's just I had those questions at least going into the season and all. Even I had higher hopes for the Red Sox at least going into their 25 season and all because of the signings of Garrett Crochet and obviously Bregman coming in and all too as well. And you hear about the youth that they have. I was making a big deal about them having like 5 prospects in the top 50 and all too as well, with like the Roman Anthony's, the Marcelo Myers of the world and all too as well. Even Christian Campbell I think was rated pretty high before things went downhill for him to a degree last season and all too as well. But again, more high on the Red Sox of their 25 season. I wasn't high on the Patriots going into the Patriots 25 season all too as well. Look at them turned into the Commanders or the Lions and all too as well. Both teams that went into the championship game with no real expectations of making noise at least and all too as well. And then the Pats in the same scenario, in the tough game and in the championship game of the game going into the game before the Super Bowl and all too as well. Now they were able to pull off a win in there too as well. I will mention Bo Nix not playing in that game does make a difference. I'm not going to say the Bronco offense is going to sit there and score 17 to 20 points at least and all. They did struggle in the second half against the Bills defense, which is a leaky defense on the rush side at least and all. Still is a pretty damn good pass defense. When their pass defenders were healthy and in the game, they were able to stop Bo Nix and all in their offense. And I feel like their offense kind of made their plays when guys like Tre'Davious White got hurt. I think like Jonah Jackson was probably the substitution and all, but they lost another safety there for like a play or two. And that's how the Broncos were able to score in that play, and also like 2 plays there. If the guys just stayed healthy for a play or two, big ifs, but still. I feel like that was a big difference as to why the Broncos were able to score on the Bills and all. And that was apparently a leaky defense and all, too, as well. So I don't know if Bo Nix essentially makes a big difference and all, but in certain plays where Jarrett Stidham could have ran in a situation, Bo Nix definitely would have made a difference there and all. And I can't lie, he would have made a big difference for them there and all too as well. So I think that's my reaction to that AFC Championship game and the Pats making the Super Bowl and all too as well. I guess a little tidbit and all too as well about the Patriots. That's what I'm talking about. And Bill Belichick did not make the Hall of Fame as a first ballot earner and all too as well. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He definitely deserved it. But when I just look at Kraft not making the Hall of Fame and all, they're letting guys in like that Polian, the Broncos owner for what? I've read on Google, Google, AI Google, I'm not trying to take it too seriously and all, but he, the credentials of him making the Hall of Fame was turning the Broncos into a powerhouse. So, and Pat Bowlen got into the Hall of Fame in 2019. Pat Bowlen only has 3 Super Bowls and all too as well. And I'm only saying only because it's kind of impressive to have 3 Super Bowls and all, but we have Robert Kraft there, who's coming since '93. The Pats had a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback on their franchise and couldn't do it with them. Had to go to the Raiders to do that and all too as well. And Jim Plunkett and all too as well went to 1 Super Bowl facing the '85 Bears. Wasn't much of a football game from what I've seen and all. I wasn't there to experience it and all too as well. But he turned that since 92, 93, 94, since he owned the team and all. Has gone to 11 Super Bowls. Before this one, went to 10 Super Bowls and all too as well. Has won 6 of them, lost 4 of them, unfortunately, 96, 07, 11 or 12. I don't know what year is that or season is that, and 17 and all too as well. But there's one the other, 101, 03, 04, 13, 14, whatever that year was against Seattle, 16, and the greatest comeback of all time in sports. And then winning 2018 Super Bowl and all too. So why isn't Robert Kraft in the Hall of Fame? That's why I'm not surprised Bill Belichick's not a first-time Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer and all. Obviously, come on, most Super Bowl wins all time. I should say that. I think he's like second overall in wins. I think he's third in regular season. No. Yeah, I think he's like third in regular. No, I think he's third in regular season. I don't know. But he's like top 3 in wins overall, at least, no, postseason and regular season. That's where it's kind of mixed up. Because I know his regulars, he's probably number 1 all time in postseason wins and all too as well. Mind you, his time has an extra playoff game and all too as well. Most of the time they weren't playing in that playoff game and all because they're winning the division and top 2 in the conference and all for most of the years that they're going to the playoffs and all too as well. But, like I mentioned with Kraft at least, if he has a resume like that and they're letting Pat Bowlen in 2019 and all. And you can argue too about Robert Kraft. He was a peacemaker in the potential lockout that could have happened. I forgot what year that could have been. Maybe 2014, 15, 16, something like that. But there was a potential lockout in the mid-2010s and all. And Robert Kraft was a big broker, I should say, you know what I mean, for peace, for them to get the CBA negotiations through. And they were able to start their season and all too as well. So it's been a big part for their league and all too as well. And we all know why. That the Patriots are dealing with this type of shit and all too as well, excuse my language, because of Spygate and Deflategate and all too as well. And Bill Belichick never really got penalized for the situation and all. The team did with draft picks and I think a huge fine that the Pats had to pay, I should say, and all too as well. And then you have Deflategate, where Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games. And then I don't know, and the draft pick and all too as well in that Spygate situation or 2. And I don't know about Deflategate. I don't know if it was, I think it was just a more Brady situation than more of the Pat situation and all too as well. But still, that's what that's what the Patriots are getting punished for and all. So if there's like huge surprise with Bill Belichick, obviously this past week of him not making the Hall of Fame, but if Robert Kraft with his resume is not getting a Hall of Fame and Pat Bowlen, no offense to Pat Bowlen. Pat Bowlen's a great owner for the Denver Broncos. He did turn, that team into a powerhouse and all too as well. They're going to the Super Bowls with John Elway and they can't break through. And I'm sure, they can't break through. I'm not sure Pat Bowlen. I was just watching the Elway documentary too, honestly. So I can't remember if Pat Bowlen was there at the beginning and came in the middle of it and all, or was there at the same time. And I believe he came after Elway was drafted and all too as well. But I could be wrong. I think he did. I think he came after and all too as well. I think that's when things really picked up for them and all too as well in the 90s and all to finally get over the hump and win 2 Super Bowls before Elway retired and all too as well. So I'm not trying to dig at Pat Bowlen. Pat Bowlen's a great owner and all too as well. But if a guy like that's making the Hall of Fame and Robert Kraft with his credentials is not making the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? So there's a vendetta against the New England Patriots dynasty of them potentially all getting the Hall of Fame and all too as well. And now, questions about what's his name there, Tom Brady, get into the Hall of Fame and all too as well as a first ballot, because he should be in the Hall of Fame and all, obviously, as much as Bill Belichick should be in there and all too as well. But still, just I don't think it's fair questions and all too as well. But I'm a Pats fan, so I'm a bit biased towards the situation and all too as well. But I'm about the Pats and all too as well. I think I just went 30 minutes or something like that. Yeah, oh wow, went like 29 minutes talking about the Pats and all too as well. We'll talk about their opponent real quick. Like I said, we'll just do. I'm just reacting to the games and all too as well. I'll save sometime next week for a preview or analysis of how I think the game will go and all too as well. I'm not going to be right about it too as well, but it's fun to have some things like that too as well, and add some content to the channel and all too as well. If you guys are watching or listening on the YouTube side, please press on that subscribe button to help support the podcast. And if you guys are listening on the podcast platform side like Apple and Spotify and Overcast, please add us to your library and leave us a rating to help support the podcast and all too as well. So real quick, I'll make this real quick because I don't think I'm going to have this much energy for the Seahawks and Rams game and all too as well. But as I thought, this was the better game of the two games, at least and all too as well. Just seemed like with the weather, with the Pats and Broncos and all too as well, their defenses and all too as well. The Pats defense is now getting its respect and all, and the Broncos have been getting respect all season and all too as well. Kind of anticipated it being the defensive struggle and all too as well, but outside the snow, I just meant the weather with the cold. The snow surprised me at least and all too as well, and it seemed like the Pats were more prepared for it too as well. And look at me still talking about them and all too as well, but this game, hell of a lot better and all too as well. Got your up and down type of feeling and all too as well. Defense showed out from times too as well, here and there and all. Seahawks defense for sure, in my opinion, honestly, definitely showed out from time to time in this game and all too as well. Dumb penalty, you can say here, definitely say a dumb penalty. I think McMillan was his name, though, who had the dumb penalty there and all too as well. But definitely a better game than the AFC Championship and all too as well. But as you can see, the Seahawks pulled it out and a great win there for themselves and all too as well. If I'm going to simplify why the Rams lost this game, muff punts. One of them lost, one of them they were able to recover and all. But basically, the difference, you take out that muff punt that the Seahawks recovered on Rams side of the field and all. Take out that touchdown, it's 27 to what? 27, take out 7, 27. I can't do math quickly. Oh, this is pretty bad to be live and doing all this with 24. There we go. But yeah, take out 7 from this, 27-24 and all too as well. So it's not like the Seahawks were after these, because they were making plays towards the end of the first half and going into the second half to a degree too as well. But the Rams were responding and all too as well. So that's what was making it a game and all too as well. But again, that muff punt from the Seahawks, I think, from the Rams, I should say. I think his name was Xavier Smith. I think his name is Xavier Smith and all too as well. Unfortunately, just had a muff punt there too as well. Great position for the Seahawks to go down there and score, and basically had like 14 points because it was a great way they ended the first half and all. I think this muff punt happened more towards the middle of the second half and all too as well. So kind of like double compounded for the Rams and all too as well. Matthew Stafford, like I said, both guys in this game threw for 300 yards. Matthew Stafford 374. Then you have Darnold there with 346 and all too as well. Guys are basically hitting at a 65% clip too, if not more. Yeah, like 60, maybe 67, 68. At a great clip, both guys. Let me put it on the screen for you guys at least. But there we go. But yeah, in great clips and all too as well. Both guys had 3 touchdowns too as well. Honestly, there's never been a loser. There's never been a losing quarterback in history with those type of stats to lose a game and all. Matthew Stafford, unfortunately, was on the wrong side of that one too as well, honestly. But to go deeper into it, at least not outside of the muff punt, I think that was just a huge reason why the Rams lost this game, at least and all too as well. But Rams defense really couldn't show up. They weren't stopping JSN. JSN was super open and all too as well. Before the touchdown, before the first half and all, we were super wide open. Donald kind of missed him in the middle of the end zone too as well. Maybe his oblique probably affected it there. I wouldn't say that. Probably just missed the throw and all, but was able to find him again and all too as well. What was his numbers? Yeah, JSN had 10 receptions for 153 yards and 1 touchdown. 10 receptions. It's ridiculous and all too as well. Even Nacua, wow, I almost effed that up. Puka Nacua sat there and had 9 receptions for 165 yards and a touchdown too as well, honestly. 2 of my favorites for the offensive player of the year definitely showed out and all too as well, honestly. But yeah, Seattle just pulled out a great offensive matchup and all too as well. I thought this is why I was cheering for the Rams, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, it would be a better matchup for Pat's offense, honestly, against that defense. And you kind of saw it there with JSN being open multiple times throughout the game and all too as well. But But yeah, but you know what I mean. But I'm not surprised that the Seahawks won this game with their defense at least and all too as well. I will credit the Rams and them. This is the third time these teams have faced each other too as well. So maybe that was a part of the reason why they were able to score so much too as well. Honestly, the Rams on this Seattle defense, which is apparently better than the Texans and Bronco defense. We'll see. We'll see. Really gonna see about it too as well. Honestly, but again, a big win for them and all. Kenneth Walker again showed out too. So I'm looking at his stats right now. He showed out, had himself a big touchdown too as well. If I remember, yeah, obviously he had a touchdown, but I'm trying to remember the touchdown at least and all too as well. But in the corner of the end zone, was able to run in for a touchdown and all too as well. So a great win for them. Even though I wanted the Rams for a better defensive matchup for the Pats offense, at least this will be a great game at least not too as well. To the naysayers that are saying that the Pats have faced nothing offensively, can't say that now, but I know if things go a certain way and all, they'll just say Sam Darnold saw ghosts and all that ish too as well. Honestly, so no wins on this side for the Pats fans at least and all too as well. But should be an interesting matchup at least and all too as well. Like I said, their defense is pretty balanced from their D-line, linebackers, and their defensive backfield, at least, and all, too, as on their offense. I just mentioned JSN and all. Kenneth Walker is a big part of it, too, as well. It's kind of disappointing that Charbonnet, their second running back there, got hurt in the San Francisco 49er game and all, too, as well. But they still got Rashee Rice, special teams, specialist, I should say, too, as well, but can still make big plays offensively for them, too, as well, honestly. And Sam Darnold, with his questions, had a big game against the Rams, like I mentioned, had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and all, too, as well. And was pretty solid against the Niners, too, as well. More defense and special teams taking care of the Niners in their first game, at least, no, but can't argue, the way he's looked, at least, no, too, as well. He's got this team in the Super Bowl and all, too, as well, making Minnesota maybe regrets not picking him up, and other teams that could have picked him up in the offseason because he was a free agent this year. And Seattle took the chance and look at them now, too, as well, honestly. So interesting matchup and all, too, as well. I'll definitely dig deeper into the matchups going into the Super Bowl next week, at least, and all, too, as well. But I'm definitely excited. Are you kidding me? Let me put this on the screen, at least, and all. This is what's going on the 8th of February. Patriots versus Seattle in the Super Bowl 60. It's just ridiculous. I'm so shocked that this is what we're dealing with and all, too, as well. I was a nervous wreck to a degree. I don't know, when it comes to the Patriots and watching their games, I'm a shit ton more confident than watching like a Sox game or a Celtics game and all, too, as well. It's just different when it comes to the Patriots and all, too, as well. That inner confidence is just there and all, too, as well. Even with the nerves going through AFC Championship game, that was definitely the most nervous I've been watching a football game this year and all, too, as well. I anticipate this game is going to be even more nerve-wracking and all, too, as well. So, but let me, I guess, before I head out and all, too, as well, since I've been monitoring the head coaching openings in the NFL over the past couple of recordings and all, too, as well. Might as well catch up to see who's still got a open position, who filled things up at this point and all, too, as well. The Cardinals are still looking. Oh, let me fix it. I have to remember to fix that from time to time. But the Cardinals are still looking for a coach and all, too, as well. We got the Raiders still looking for a coach and all, too, as well. It is rumored, though, with those two teams that Clint Kubiak is a hot candidate for them and all, too, as well. And as I mentioned, if you don't know, Clint Kubiak is the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks and all, too, as well. And he's still in the Super Bowl and all, too, as well. So it's not like they can't hire him. Well, they can't hire him, obviously. He's working for somebody right now, but they're limited of interviews, too, as well, honestly. So that may be the holdup on why those two teams haven't made a decision on their coaching staff and all, too, as well. And credit the Saints. They looked pretty good this year and all, too, as well. They waited for Kellen Moore to finish out what he did with the Eagles and all, winning the Super Bowl there, and was able to go over there as their new head coach and all soon after the season ended and all, too, as well. So it's not like it can't work for both teams and all, too, as well. If I like the situation more than the other, I would say the Cardinals over the Raiders, but I feel like they're the same to a degree. How good is the Cardinals defense going to be without Jonathan Gannon there, especially bringing the Clint Kubiak there too as well, honestly. So it could be the same and all too as well. If the Raiders, if you really like Mendoza and all too as well, Raiders are going to be a good pick, obviously, because they got the number 1 pick going into this draft and all too as well. So I'm just getting into the other hires of the head coaches and all too as well because they're kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. They can prove me wrong. Liam Cohen proved me wrong for the Jaguars and all. That was a funny hire, and they ended up looking a pretty good hire for the first year, at least and all too as well. So let's be fair. Going into it and all. But Todd Monken, former OC for the Baltimore Ravens, is now coach of the Cleveland Browns and all too as well. That is a laughing type of situation and all. Joe Brady, new coach of the Buffalo Bills and all too as well. To me, that is a laughing situation all too as well. But we'll see. Like I said, Liam Cohen proved me wrong and all too as well. So we'll see and all. Mike McCarthy, I think, is a solid pickup and all too as well because I give the Steelers credit of thinking that they weren't anticipating Mike Tomlin leaving, at least not too as well. So I do give them credit of making a move, a similar move, like a lateral move to keep what they've been going on. It seems they seem to be okay of going 9-7 and losing in the first round of the playoffs and all too as well. So that's why I think this is a cool hire for them and all too as well. You just understand it and all too as well. Maybe they strike hot with Mike McCarthy and the quarterback that they find and all too as well. I doubt it. But they're a competitive team at least. I feel like that's what they're looking for and all. I don't think they're looking for Mike McCarthy to be the coach of the team over the next 5 years or more, at least and all too as well. I just think they're trying to keep something lateral for the time being and really look into a long-term, coach over the next couple years at least and all too as well. Be more, aware of it because I don't think they ever prepared of not having Mike Tomlin as their coach this upcoming season and all too as well. So I give it a ding. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool hire and all too. So the Baltimore Ravens hired Jesse Minter and all. I think it's this is one I'll give a we'll see and all. I like it, but you don't get away from what you got rid of in John Harbaugh. Jesse Minter apparently is a Harbaugh guy. He was just working for Harbaugh's brother and Jim in San Diego and all too as well. And apparently it was in Michigan with Jim too as well. And so did you really get away from what you fired and all? We'll see. Maybe Jesse's different. That's why I'll give it a we'll see because Jesse Minter was apparently a good head coaching option and all too as well. So I'll be fair there and all too as well. Tennessee hired Robert Saleh. I think it's solid. He brought in Brian Daboll as the OC too as well because he couldn't get the Bills job because it went to Joe Brady. Ha ha ha. But I liked Robert Saleh in New York and all too as well. It's the Jets. And you can argue with the Titans, but at least the Titans have had more success since the year 2000 than the New York Jets and all too as well. And I think that's kind of pushing it because what have they done? Well, yeah. Because of Mike Vrabel in the late 2010s with Derrick Henry and all too as well. Titans and Jets kind of had the same success, because the Titans at least went to I think they went to an AFC Championship game and all too as well. But the Jets at least in 2010 and 2011, if not 2009. 2010 went to back-to-back AFC Championship games, so that's why it's kind of linear. But it kind of went off the deep end when Tennessee did what they did in the late 2010s, at least and all too as well. So did I mess up something? Just check it. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, good. I think it's a good solid hire for the Titans at least and all too as well. I didn't think Robert Saleh was as bad as people thought in New York and all. I think this is a great chance of him to kind of clear that out and all, and kind of put more blame at the Jets and all too as well. Look how messy they are right now anyway with a new coach and all too as well. If Robert Saleh didn't have the team looking like that in his first year there and all too as well. Now look what's going on over there. I don't want to talk about it too deep. Jeff Hafley, coach of the Miami Dolphins. Prove me wrong, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Kevin Stefanski, coach of the Atlanta Falcons. It's hilarious. I don't get it. I just don't. It's the best thing I can say to explain that and all. I think I mentioned John Harbaugh as coach of the New York Giants and all too as well. So then, a pretty good hire, even though it looks like they're having trouble finding an OC and all. Looks like it should have been Todd Monken, but as you can see, went to the Cleveland Browns and all too as well. So that's the head coaching hires there. Guess I'll do my Celtics check-in and I'm trying to think of anything other news that came up this past week besides the Pats making the Super Bowl and all too as well. But I think that's all I got right now. But Celtics check-in real quick. Had a disappointing loss against the Atlanta Hawks. I almost said Falcons. Against the Atlanta Hawks this past, when was this? Today's Friday. I think they played Wednesday. Yeah, this past Wednesday and all too as well. Disappointing and all too as well. Looked very sluggish. I feel like Jaylen Brown should take a break. I'm seeing him with a sleeve over his right wrist or left wrist, and then having this long arm sleeve over his shoulder and all too as well. So thinking the guy needs a rest and all, a little bit sluggish. His numbers are good. He just doesn't look the same from after like the Clipper game. I'm not gonna lie, honestly. I think he came out and had a big game in the middle of that, but yeah, like 40 points against the Brooklyn Nets. I think soon after against that, and the mad efficient game and all too as well. But hasn't looked great since. I feel like a couple games when I heard him and all. Hold off to the All-Star break too as well. I do get that and all too as well, but still, man's looking sluggish and all too as well. So, but Numish Quater is dealing with an illness apparently and all, so I feel like it hurt in the Hawks game. I love Amari Williams, I'm a fan, but the offense is looking a hell of clunky with them out there and all too as well. So guy trying to figure it out as a first round, not first round, but as a first year player, second round draft pick and all too as well. But I like the minutes that they're giving him. I don't hate it and all, but I think it really kind of affected their offense over the last couple games and all too as well. Barely pulled out the win against Portland and all the day before, or the game before at least and all too as well, but unable to get through against the Hawks and all. I think they got the Bucks tonight. I think that's what they have tonight. The Kings, I'm sorry. Kings tonight. Bucks on Sunday and all too as well. You got the Mavericks, on the road and the Rockets on the road too as well, and then you have the Heat before a Super Bowl Sunday matchup against the Knicks and all too as well in Boston and all too as well. So we'll see. I thought they would get to 30 wins by now, but now they let the Knicks get to 29, let the Raptors get to 29, let the Cleveland Cavaliers get to 29 and all too as well before them getting 30 and all too as well. Even let the T-Wolves, in the overall sense, get to 30 before them and all too as well. So kind of disappointed there, but they're keeping the 60% winnage percentage going and all too as well. Oh yeah, if there is some other news to get into, is the Jason Tatum news that apparently he's reevaluating the idea of him returning this season all too as well. I think it's fair game and all too as well. What it tells me the most, he must be close, if not ready, to come back and all too as well, to a degree and all too as well. So I think it's more about that. Now you're reevaluating everything. Doctors are telling you this. The team is telling you this too as well. And I'm pretty sure, personal trainers and people, family and all too as well tell you all this and also. I just think it's more of an instance of where that's where he's at in his. It's all recovery and all too as well. I just think he's dealing more with the mental recovery of playing basketball at a high speed and all that type of stuff too as well. And also we'll see. Like again, I would love homeboy to come back and play basketball for the Boston Celtics this year and have some type of impact on the team and all. Again, I don't anticipate the guy to play 30 to 35 minutes in any time for the team until like April and May, if they're able to get that deep into the playoffs and all too as well. There was talk of him maybe coming back on the 8th of February to face the Knicks and all too as well. I just find that crazy to think about too as well. I just expect March would be the month that he would come back and all. And if he's thinking like this and March comes up and all and he's feeling good to play, that's when I feel like those, like the mental hurdle he's dealing with right now I think will pass him when March comes around and all too as well. I just think he's closer to being ready and all too as well. Closer to that point to be playing 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, 5-on-5s eventually and all too as well. I just think it's a fair question of a mental hurdle that he's doing before doing that and all too as well. Even I always wanted to, with the part of his recovery, was to get to the point that he was ready. To that 1 to 10%, 120% ready, then take a break, take 3 weeks off, maybe play once a week, twice a week or something like that, and then, make that decision, do I want to come back or not too as well. I feel like he's in that position where, he's ready or, right there ready to do, play 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, 5-on-5s, and is it worth it? Should I do it and all too as well? I think he's part of that mental hurdle and all. And whatever he chooses is fine with me. It just seems like the way he's been going at it with the rehab and all, it seems like I would give, if I was going this hard at the rehab and I had a shot to play this season and all, and you went over this mental hurdle and all, I would play and all. So I just do expect him to play and all. But with the report, Chris Haynes and I think Ramona Shelburne dropped and all too as well. I believe it's just more of a mental hurdle that he's dealing with and all too as well. Probably right there to get ready to play 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, and 5-on-5s on a practice level type of thing and all too as well. And trying to, anticipate is it worth it and all too as well. So I think that's where he's at right now too as well. I do agree, like I was listening to Michael Felger from Boston and all too as well. And I do kind of agree. Part of the mental hurdle shouldn't be would you fit with Jaylen Brown in the instance of of whatever position he can play and all too as well. Come off the bench starting, I would anticipate coming off the bench and all too as well. But I do kind of agree that shouldn't be one of your hurdles and all too as well. You've done it with him for too long and all too as well. What role are you playing to help out? I do understand the hurdle there and all too as well. I feel like that's what he's dealing with. And what can I do to help the team if I'm not able to do this and that right now off the bat and all too. I feel like that's part of the mental hurdle that Jason Tatum is dealing with right now too as well and all. And it's a fair hurdle honestly too as well. As much as it's physical, dealing with rehab and all too as well, it's mental. It's just as much as mental and all too as well honestly for someone who's dealt, who's had his battles with mental health and all too as well. It is a part of it too as well. You don't want to go back and forth with yourself too as well. Like I think one of his quotes was saying, "I just want to do this the first time and be done with it." You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a great way to go into it and all too as well. He's lucky that no setbacks have happened to him too as well throughout this rehab and all too as well. And Joe Mazzulla kind of confirmed it on a radio call with with Boston Sports Radio 98.5 and all. Might as well just put it all out there. But yeah, confirmed that he has had no setbacks and all. Just seems like he's dealing with more of the mental part of his recovery than the physical part. When it seems like he just dropped a video, or not dropped a video, but the media was able to see him practice or see a full workout, I should say, when they were in Detroit a week back and all too as well. Made some news there and all too as well. I didn't make a big deal about it anyway, all too as well. But with this news here, I get the bigger deal with this and all too as well, that it looked like he was ready to come back and all. Now it seems to be a sudden stop, honestly too as well. But again, I think it's more of a mental hurdle than more that he doesn't want to play or anything like that. Just more thinking about where do I fit on this team and all if I do come back and all too as well. So I think that's all I got. Trying to think of any other news. Like I said, I think I mentioned in the last episode, Indiana won the national championship and all too as well. So the college football season's over there and all too as well. So I think that's really all I got. Pats are in the Super Bowl 60. So we're recording a preview episode of them facing the Seahawks and all too as well. Keep it preview based where I think they have the advantages, where are their disadvantages honestly too as well, and where I think they can attack Seattle and all too as well, and where if can the defense hold up on that Seattle offense that's put up, I won't say 40 points against the 49ers because I know there was a punt return there too as well, but a team that's put together a 40-point game. I think what was it, a 31-point game against the Rams, and then in their win there too as well. So how can the defense, who's looked great in these playoffs in these last 3 games and all, how can they step up for a bigger performance against probably the best offense they faced in the postseason and all too as well. So I think that's all I got. Again, if you guys were watching and listening on the YouTube side, press on that subscribe button to help support the podcast and all too as well. And if you guys are, watching on the podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Overcast, please add us to your library and leave us a rating to help support the podcast and all too as well. But we'll talk soon. Pats are in the Super Bowl, so we'll be previewing that like I keep saying and all, but we'll talk soon. Peace.